Today, we are looking at the Radio Shack Pro 2036 scanner radio. Yes, you heard right, talking about Radio Shack. We're looking at its features, what you can still receive with it, and you might be surprised. I'm also going to go over how to program it and use the unit. So let's get started. And here we go, and as you can see, it's not the cleanest radio because I just picked it up from a garage sale, or actually it was the electronics flea market, I think. Let's turn this on, and currently I was playing around with APRS, so it's set to 144.390, which is the North America rather, APRS frequency. So let's say I want to enter a new channel. So right now, as I said, it's on APRS. You just go here, 146.520, for example, is the 2 meter FM national calling frequency. And notice it is on frequency, not channel. You can also program them. Let's see. Here's the volume control on the bottom. Squelch is on the top, and right now, when you have it all the way to the left, the squelch is open fully. So usually you want to do is turn on the volume and move the squelch just about right there where all the noise is blocked out. This radio is rather simple. Let me go over some of the features. Dim to adjust the brightness. I'll go over some of the buttons later. I'm just going to highlight the ones that are somewhat important to know. These we already went through. These letters here are banks for memory, and they are banks of 20, I believe. Here you can adjust the frequency or the channel. You can recall them with this number pad. E is for enter, and you have a dot for example, if you're putting in 146.520, but you don't have to use it necessarily. Scan and manual buttons. In addition, you have a priority where you can set your channel to a priority channel, meaning that's the channel you want to listen to more. Lockout, and those are pretty common for most radios. Speed control, for example, is the scanning speed. Here you can go ahead and look at the program channels. This is 2, 3, and you can also manually tune around. So you want to stay here for now, see if somebody comes on. I am indoors in a house with metal siding, so chances are with this small antenna on here, we're not going to hear much. With this you can toggle over to channel mode, or you can go back to VFO mode. Basically, one is programmed, one is not. That's essentially the difference. And let's go over some of the other features on the panel. And a basic overview. This radio is a 200 channel capable radio, which is basically not much compared to some of the modern radios today. However, I find myself listening to maybe 10 to 15 frequencies really only, so this will probably do for 95% of the people out there. Additionally, I have to point out there's a CTCSS setting, which is basically a tone control, and that's to essentially mute or silence the radio unless a certain code or tone rather is sent along with the audio, and that's commonly used by amateur radio repeaters, and I believe some fire stations also use it. The VX button should be pointed out, which is weather station. In fact, let's turn on the radio. And now I am in weather station mode, and essentially what it's doing, let's listen in. Okay, so basically it finds the strongest station. As far as your local weather station, there are 10 frequencies usually that it scans, and here, let's see if it finds anything else. There's another one, or that might be the same one. So essentially these are really good for places that have a lot of weather events. So essentially That's pretty much all there is to these units. They're very straightforward. You can manually change the frequency even when you're in weather mode. And again, you can always manually enter it. Hit enter, and it takes you right where you need to be. And you can tune around to see if you hear anything. And looks like there is some activity, but probably not going to be strong enough for us to pick it up here. Okay, and that's basically all there is to it. Speaker on top, and this will work a lot better with an external antenna, such as a disc cone scanner antenna, for example. Lastly, let's talk about how to manually store frequencies in this unit, because I'm sure that's something everyone's interested in. So per the manual, if enter lock is on, set it to off, and if scan is displayed on the scanner, then it is scanning, so press manual to go into manual mode. If the lock indicator is on, press lock, and the scanner will beep softly to turn the lock off, which is what you want. Next, press the frequency/channel button until the channel, or actually it's just called chan indicator, turns on. And again, the scanner will beep to let you know it's done it. Now turn the rotary tuner, or the dial if you will, until the display shows the channel you want to program. And we're talking about the channel number now. Using the number keys, enter the frequency you want to store in, and that would be the actual frequency that you looked up or you're interested in megahertz. Press the E button to store the frequency. E is short for enter. And the display will show the frequency and the channel number that it's stored in if you did everything correctly. I am not going to go over all the features because this would be like a 2 or 3 hour video, but I do encourage you to go ahead and download the manual. There are PDFs still floating around on the internet for this unit. They're rather easy to find. I'm not going to post the link because they seem to be changing, so I don't want this video to be outdated anytime soon. But if you do a simple Google search, you can certainly find manuals. I found about 3 or 4 copies with a simple search. The back of this radio is very straightforward. You basically got power in. It's a good idea to have something with a toroid or ferrite on the power supply. This radio takes very standard 13.8 volts, or basically 12 volts. Power in. There's an auxiliary output, and the auxiliary output is essentially, if you want to be recording it, there's a enter lock, which is, I believe, just for blocking out memory, for people not being able to change it if you don't want people messing with it. And here you have the antenna that I happen to put on, and this antenna is, one second here, it is a BNC type antenna with a BNC connector, and BNC is a bayonet connector type. Some people say it's a British naval connector. It's actually not. It's not the proper name for it, but I'm sure that will be debated. Anyways, that's all there is to it in the back. If you don't have an adapter for this unit, you can just go ahead and look around to see if you have something laying around. I personally found a 12-volt adapter from some old electronics that I had laying around. It does not have to have high amperage since this is a receiver only, so you can probably get away with like a 500 milliamp or so adapter. No need to get a 2 or 3 amp one. Let's talk about birdies. Basically, these are just internally generated signals which are created by the electronic components and how they interact, essentially, to oversimplify it. And this is basically just noise, sometimes whistles, sometimes they appear to be like there is something there, but actually it is just internal noise, if you will. And this radio has the following frequencies here where you can find birdies, generally speaking. So if you're tuning to these frequencies and you hear something, it is just the electronics playing tricks on your ears. Well, not really playing tricks on your ears because they are there, but they're not actually anything transmitting on the other end. I am running a raffle, which you can access on w6aer.com/giveaway. And this raffle is currently giving away an audiobook, and this is the first time I'm doing this, so it's a 2-month cycle. Eventually what I want to do is do regular raffles once a month for various things, and mostly digital products, but also some actual physical items. So check back often. Again, w6aer.com/giveaway, and you can enter multiple times. Additionally, if you want to support this channel, please visit amazon.com/shop/MaximumRF. I will leave the link below as well. Anytime you purchase from here, it helps support this channel and as well as the website actually. Also, feel free to visit any of our other affiliates and sponsors. It'd be really appreciated. If you feel I missed something or have additional information in regards to the Pro 2036, which I covered here, or just scanners in general, I would appreciate your input by commenting below. Thank you for watching, and please check out one of these other related videos, as well as other videos I have on scanner radios, and ham radios, of course. Thank you for your support. As we say, 7-3 for now. This is Lucas, W6AER.